What's going on, people? Welcome back to the Bearded Bear 9000 YouTube channel. This is a little bit of a different video. I won't be on camera today. We are going for a little drive down Custer State Park, wildlife loop, and it's going to be a good time. So I'm just going to kind of give you a little drive here, kind of give you the do's and the don'ts of Custer State Park. Okay, biggest do is take a lot of pictures, take a lot of video. We encourage it, we love it. The biggest don't is don't approach the animals. We require at least 30 yards of space between you and the animals. Okay, keep that in mind. This is not something that I cannot stress enough. Okay, our top priority is the animals here in the park. With that being said, we have several different animals here in the park, ranging from everything from little tiny birds to big old bison. And hopefully we get lucky and they'll be all over the road today. But this is the main part of the wildlife loop. I want you to keep in mind, by the way, that the wildlife loop is more than just the concrete road that you will be, or the asphalt road that you'll be driving on. That's the main road. There is several off-road gravel roads open to the public, but you can come here with a rental vehicle, a regular vehicle, but just know that the damages to your vehicle, if a bison is feeling a little ornery, will not be covered. Okay, that is on you to figure that out. So if you want to risk it, then feel free to take your personal vehicle or rental, but you will be paying for it if something happens. Okay, I just want to make that very clear before we get too far into this. And give me just a second. I'm going to adjust the camera a little bit. You guys are a little lopsided. Alright, that's better. I like that a lot better. That way, if we get up close with an animal here, that you guys can get a good close-up view. But anyway, the thing that we live by here in the park is that we live among the animals. Okay, we do not hold ourselves above priority over the animals. So we've had several times a year where they will raid the employee housing, they will raid the resorts themselves. This is mostly for the State Game Lodge. The State Game Lodge is one of the many places that you'll be able to stay here in the park. And holy man, do they fucking raid it every once in a while, man. You just won't be able to get anywhere when the bison are moving through, because we have a massive herd here. So we're gonna go along. We got some deer off to the right here, but they're a little bit far off, so we're not gonna worry about that one right now. You may be able to catch them in the camera. If you guys like this video, make sure you like, subscribe, comment, do all this stuff. Blow this video up if you guys like it. I will go get a GoPro, and we will do other parts of Custer State Park, but this is the main one that I wanted to show, because this is the one that people most often they'll come here to do. But yep, there's several places that you can see animals here in the park. You can see them even just being in the resort. You can see animals to varying degree depending on where you're staying. We have bighorn sheep that like to stay close to the lodges. There's quite a few deer that like to stay close to the lodges. They're smart, they're not dumb. They know that if they're close to the lodge, they're close to people. Mountain lions aren't going to be there, and neither are coyotes. So yeah, they're pretty smart. We got prairie dog mounds on the right and a lot of fucking bison shit. But you can do just about everything here. If you're looking for more of of a rustic. Look at this over here to our left. Let me slow down for you. Right there, we got a bunch of turkeys. So this is why we call it the wildlife loop. The animals are not afraid to just hang out next to the road, on the road, around the road. About the only ones you probably won't see, you'll have to actually get out of your vehicle to get a decent picture of, would be the prairie dogs. We have millions of prairie dogs around here. About anywhere there's a prairie, there's a bunch of prairie dogs. You can pretty much count on it. But yep, there are several other things to do. So one thing I want everybody to keep in mind watching this video is that there are multiple things to do as far as attractions and stuff to go. Not just here in Custer State Park, but everywhere. Absolutely everywhere there is plenty of things to do. Okay, we have Wind Cave National Park that is just outside of Custer State Park, right up on the border. And then you have the Black Hills National Forest, which is on the other side of the park. And then that takes you around to like Mount Rushmore and like Keystone, which has got an old mine there. So there's a lot to do that will enhance your experience. So my recommendation is to take a week and just fill it. Just fill it up with stuff to do. If you like nature, you like being in an Old West style of place, very rustic. This is the place to go here in South Dakota. Just letting you know. Just letting you know it's a good place to get away. Don't count on cell phone service. Okay. So if you come here with reliable vehicles. Come here with, you know, some sort of emergency preparedness. Okay, it's good to keep that in mind. Now, the park has come a long way. If you got Verizon, you're probably pretty good out here. I've never done anything that wasn't Verizon since I've been here. So, if you're running something that isn't Verizon, it's probably something you should look into to make sure they got coverage out here. Because generally speaking, they probably won't. So, but, you know, we do what we can. Several places to eat. Most of the lodges, they have restaurants as well. So, feel free to book a table, eat some food, okay? But if you're looking for the full wildlife experience, my biggest recommendation, because we do have a lot of animals, and a lot of them, as many as you will see on the main road, you will not see. You'll have to actually go do some hiking, go do some sort of time on recreation in order to track them down. The most elusive one that you should count yourself lucky if you do see is elk. We do have a big herd of elk, but your chances of seeing them is pretty low. They're a roaming herd, so your chances of seeing them are not great. But if you do see them, you better have that camera ready. That's all I'm saying. I saw one last year. One. That's it. A friend of mine got lucky. One of the Jeep drivers that I'll touch on later. Him and his wife, they were driving on one of the off-road areas that you can take, and they got lucky and they saw a herd of about 30 of them, and I've been jealous ever since. So something to keep in mind is that there is wildlife everywhere. You have to be pretty lasered in, that way you don't miss it. So, talking about the Jeep, the best way to make sure 99% of the time that you will guaranteed see wildlife is taking the Jeep Safari. Because you do have access to some places, but you will not have access to everything. That is something you got to keep in mind. There are several places that only the Jeeps can go. So if you want a guaranteed view of the animals, book yourself a Jeep Safari. It's also another way to avoid insurance claims that will not be covered. So I would be smart and go ahead and get you a Jeep Safari. Book that out. We also have a chuck wagon that you can take as well. That leads you to a nice fucking dinner with some music, and it's a good time. You get to learn how to cowboy a little bit toward the end there. And then we do have horseback riding, that sort of stuff. All that is available throughout the season. And it looks like I spy with my little eye, we got some bison just down the road here. So we will get to them here in a second. But yeah, very good time. I can't thank this place enough for even being allowed to work here and work with these animals. So yeah, it really is a gratifying experience. We have our main things that you'll probably see is pronghorn, bison, deer. We got deer everywhere. Not so much here on the loop. They're more so on the main highway, which is fucking scary. But it is a thing. They do enjoy hanging around the highway. It looks like we got some people here kind of stuck in their cars. The bison have surrounded them. This is what I'm talking about, though. The bison can be ornery, so you gotta fucking... You gotta... Me, because I'm in a fucking company vehicle, it's not doing nothing for me, but it looks like we got some bison here kind of teasing up on the two vehicles in front of us. It looks like they're just going along smelling. This is their horny time of year, so they're licking all up on the fucking cars here. You're gonna be seeing a lot of bulls looking for a lot of mamas here soon. But this is why I stress you keep your hands inside of the vehicle. Looks like we got a nice close-up view there. They're licking my grill as we speak. We're just gonna let them do their thing. I'll pull the attention away and these cars can pass. So if you want a free car wash, feel free to come through to the park and get a bison car wash. Look at him. Let's see if we can, if she'll start moving to the side, we might be able to get a look here. So this is the unique experience you can only get here in Custer State Park. Once she starts moving to the side, we'll start going away. So they're coming right up to us now. Got one on the side. There, she's kind of off to the side now. So this is only here in the park. We'll go ahead and start moseying on past these good fellers here. Let her get her last few licks in there. Our bison here are absolutely friendly. Okay, they have not known an angry human in their life. So that's why we try so hard to make sure that we are taking care of these animals, because this is This is not like something that you'll get, every day, But absolutely, you can come through here and you'll end up in situations just like that one. We got another one here just hanging out in the road, just having a good old time. Another thing to keep in mind is that our herd is ran by a matriarch. It is not ran by a bull. There is not a big bull that runs everybody around. Oh, we got a nice little bird there as well. So you can move past the bison, but I do ask that you wait for the bison to be on the side of your vehicle, not the front of your vehicle. In scenarios where traffic does get held up, conservation officers or park rangers will be by to kind of move the bison out of the way for you. Do not try to move a bison if it's standing in front of you, because you will not win. We're talking about a 1,700 pound plus tank that is full willing to rip off the front of your car. So don't be that person. I've seen it happen where somebody got too aggressive trying to move the bison out of the way, and that bison did irreparable damage to their vehicle. So be smart, all right? Don't be out here making dumb decisions, all right? Just be patient. The bison will move eventually, and then you can make your move just like I did there. Just wait for the bison to get out of the front of the vehicle, and then you can kind of start making your way, and it won't do nothing to you except, at worst case, maybe take off a mirror. So, yeah, just got to be careful. But, yep, that's an experience you can only get here at Custer State Park. Well, maybe you can get it other places. I haven't been to other places. I only know Custer State Park. Well, that's a lie. I've been to other places. None like this. But I do know that there are other places in the U.S. that have bison as well. But, yep. Quite a unique experience here. See if we can get a better view for you guys there. There we go. I got a more frontal view. We also have, there is a little small group of donkeys that we got running around here. I think right now they're just pinned up, and then once the season starts, we'll bring them out again. But halfway through the wildlife loop, there is a bison center. You can go in there, you can learn about bison. There's some merch in there. Oh, looks like we got some deer coming up. It's a very cool fucking place to go check out. And like I said, there's so many things that you can do here in South Dakota. At least on this side. On the other side, you're not gonna see shit. On the other side, that isn't the mountains, that isn't the Black Hills, you will see nothing. So this is the true culture of South Dakota here. Everything else over there is just farmers and urban cities that are constantly at each other's throats. So just over here, it looks like we got a little group of deer. Let me see, let me get up close here. Oh, we got a group of whitetails. Oh, never mind. Those are mule deer. See the black tip on the tail? There's your mule deer there. Beautiful creatures. We do got quite a few deer that stay fairly close to the employee area. You will see that quite a lot. Follow me on TikTok, by the way, because I will be posting up a lot of videos that are not like this. They'll be more in portrait mode, and it's just me and my dog hanging around deer and stuff like that come around during the year. And I'll record when we get raided by bison and turkeys and who knows what else. So make sure you guys go follow me there. We're gonna keep on moseying along here. Now, I cannot stress enough how fucking amazing this experience is. And I really hope everybody who watches this video gets a chance to come down here and truly experience this road. I'm not showing you everything, you're just kind of getting the frontal view from the cam on my car here. So, a lot of the scenery and stuff will be cut out of the video. But that's good. I would rather you guys experience that stuff firsthand. Okay, there's a lot of red rock canyons around here. That is a fucking beautiful view. But the best time to see the red rock is after rainfall. Because once we hit a dry spell, then it kind of turns more of a tan, like a very light orangish tan. So if you want the rock to be vibrant and you want to understand why we call it the red rock, then you need to go through the loop after a rainfall, and then all the rock will be bright red from all the moisture, and it looks so cool. It's so cool. Another thing to note, there are several places here to go hiking if you're a hiking person. From the furthest Sylvan Lake Lodge all the way to the State Game Lodge to the Legion Lake Lodge, there are several fucking places that you can go hiking. Even here off the wildlife loop, you are allowed to go stop off, as long as you're not off a non-public road. You are allowed to go stop off and enjoy yourself. Look at the birds. These are also a bird that are native to the park. The name right now is escaping me, but they are quite popular. They got a good population of them here. Something to keep in mind. Those are the little things that I'm trying to stress that you guys would have to get out and get pictures of and kind of keep an eye out for. Because that's not something typically that you'll pick up right away. So it's good to keep your eye out, find stuff like that. We do have coyotes and mountain lions that I brought up before, but the chances of you seeing either of those is slim to none. The coyotes don't stray too far from their dens, except when they're out hunting. And as you can see by all the prairie dogs off to the side, they got plenty of food to eat. So all this open prairie, you can basically count on prairie dogs living there. So they love it out here, which is good because we love having them out here. They keep the bugs down. Yeah, we're continuing along here. We're coming up to the Bison Center here on the left. So the Bison Center, it's got all that fencing and stuff. That's where we bring the bison when it's time to get head counts and that sort of shit. We bring bison around. Let's see if I can get you straightened out. There we go. We bring the bison around there. That's when they'll get their medical vaccines and stuff like that. Keep them nice and healthy. It's hard to believe that there are only a few of these majestic animals left in the U.S. But thanks to efforts here in the park and several other places, they have taken the biggest upswing that we could have ever asked for them. But we're coming up past the halfway point now. We're just going to kind of cruise it along a little bit. I'm hoping we'll see some pronghorn. They might be around, they might not be around. That's up in the air. They're also kind of just like the elk, they're roaming. So we'll just keep our eye out. If I spot any, then I'll point them out to you. While I'm waiting, I got some other things to talk about. There are several. Oh. Right there. Look at that. Almost right on fucking cue. That's amazing. There's a pronghorn. Beautiful, beautiful creatures. This is the fastest animal in North America you're looking at right there. Nothing else. Nothing else as fast as that. It's one of the most fast. It's one of the fastest animals ever, to be honest with you. But specifically here in North America, it's got the advantage over just about everything. So we're gonna continue right along here. Looks like this guy's taking a break, admiring the scenery a little bit. This is what I'm talking about. Feel free to absolutely just stop off, take pictures. You are allowed to hike in this area. One of the coolest hikes you could do is called Fisherman Flats. Now that is directly down this gravel road straight ahead of us. This is another part of the park here. You can stop here, take a restroom break. Inside there's a couple different guides on what animals are around, what time of year. This is our little visitor center. Now, something else to keep in mind is that's not the only visitor center. The way that you'll probably come in to the park is probably going to be through the main highway. So on the one side, there is a visitor center that is part of the state park itself, that works in conjunction with the resort, and they kind of report to each other. And in there, you can go in there, and we have a fully fledged out map of the wildlife loop. You can go check that map, and on that map is where you will find bison locations. They will put down on there, they'll have a little figurine of a bison, and they'll mark on the map where the bison are the minute you get there. So if you aren't feeling the hotel, aren't feeling the lodge or the cabin, and you just want to go right out onto the loop, you stop there first. You stop there first, they'll show you where the bison are. The lady there is super nice. She'll inform you how relevant the information is. Generally speaking, it is accurate to a T for the most part. There are a few times where the bison can, like I said before, they'll go on places where you can't get to it in the public, only with the Jeep drivers, and other cases where not only just the Jeep drivers, but the public won't have access. There are places where the bison can go to get away from everything if they need to. It's important. Got to have those places where we're not constantly having to worry about fucking tourists and park staff running around. Sometimes the animals need a break. So we do have some places like that available for them. But on a rare occasion, they pretty much never go there. But on a rare occasion, they do. But that is something to keep in mind. But if you're here for a few days and you show up and they happen to be there that day, just wait until the next day. They'll most likely be back out in the public again, and you'll be able to go check them out. But if you still want to go down the loop, bison's not the only thing to see, as you guys have seen already. We got mule deer, we got whitetails, we got pronghorn, prairie dogs, different types of birds that are specific to this part of South Dakota. There's plenty to see. There's plenty of hiking to do to go see the different fish and stuff. Fisherman's Flats, the reason why it's called that is because it's a nice popular area. It is kind of an intensive hike, I will warn you. I did that hike last year. It is a bit intense, so you'll have to wade through some water and stuff if you want to experience the full trail. But yeah, there are definitely some really cool places to go and see and check out for yourself. So we're gonna kind of continue along here now. Generally speaking, there's not really much to see up here. There is a stop-off point coming up. that you're more than welcome to stop at. While we're coming up to this point, I'm going to tell you, if you have a dog, do not let that dog off the leash ever. I don't care if it's trained. I don't care if it's done 10 years in the military. I don't care if it's a police dog. I don't care what kind of service animal it is. Keep it on a leash at all times. Okay? That is park rules. Unless you are a staff member with a specifically trained dog, with a specific clearance to have a dog running around without a leash, and we just passed that stop off point. You might have just saw the little stairs to go up there. That stop off point, and then I'll get back to it. That stop off point is probably the highest view that you can get to that's like fully fledged out for people to stop at. Other places you'll have to hike yourself, but you know, just make sure you be safe. And if you do encounter animals, give them space. Don't encroach on them, because it's going to be hard to get to you out here. If you get ran down by a bison, chances are we may not get to you by the time you need to be in the hospital. So just be safe. Just be safe. Generally speaking, you give them their space and they'll leave you alone. Back to what I was saying about dogs. Dogs on a leash always, unless you are a member of staff, or you are a member working with the park itself. So other than that, yeah, you got to keep your dogs on a leash. And even most members of staff, they'll keep their dogs on a leash as well, just because like they don't trust their dogs to, you know, not go running after a bison. Which is smart. But you'll notice that if you go through old videos on my TikTok page, that my dog is off leash. She is specifically trained to be around animals in every sense. For instance, earlier in the video, we had those bison licking up on the Jeep. Did my dog freak out, chase them off up, try to get to them? No. She don't care. She was watching them, but that's her job. Her job is to watch and report. And that's what she's trained to do. So it is shocking to a lot of people. Sometimes they'll like comment on my TikTok video and they'll say, hey, how is your dog that calm? And they'll also be surprised because the deer, they'll come right up to my dog. They don't care, because she knows how to behave around wild animals. So yeah, something to keep in mind. Most likely you will get reported, and then I just don't want people to have a bad time. Okay, I want people to enjoy themselves, have a good time. So let's just follow the rules anyway, please. But aside from that, like I said, biggest thing, be generous. I want everybody to be generous with videos and pictures. Take everything. Okay? Take everything, show it off to other people. I want everybody to be sharing their experience and posting it online, share it out to the world. Okay? I would like to see this park continue to grow and continue to add new things for people to enjoy. So the only way we can really do that is if we continue to up the revenue streams. So if this is your thing, I absolutely, especially if you're from overseas, please come and visit. We get a bunch of people from overseas all year, and I've got nothing but a great time. A lot of Europeans last year. I met a lot of Europeans last year. People from Italy, people from Germany. It was very cool to meet all you guys. You guys are very inquisitive. You asked a lot of questions, and I love that shit. I love that shit. I like it. I like people that are interested. They're interested in history. They're interested in culture. I love that. There's not that many places like this left in the U.S. There is a lot of like untapped forests and stuff that we do have, but none that have really like built something that is cohesive with the environment around them. Okay? That's one of our biggest things here. One of the biggest things that we stress here is that we prioritize the animals here. We live among them. Okay? We don't put ourselves above them by any means. We put as much as we can into keeping them safe, keeping them healthy, and you know, there have been some really bad times. Okay, we've got some more bison coming up here. There had been some really bad times where things did not work out very well. I think the 2017 there was a fire, big fire, burned a lot of acres. So if you come around, you'll probably see that there's a lot of piles of trees. That is the fallout from that. And we are still recovering. We're doing everything that we can. And here we go. Here we go. I'll get you guys right up next to these bison here. There you see some more bison. Looks like we got a bull. A couple bulls. Oh yeah. Yeah, got a couple bulls right there. They'll be ready to join the herd here soon, because it'll be fucking mating season. And that's when the time to keep your distance is most vital. Okay? I don't want to see people getting hurt. Okay? And do not think that you're going to win against the bison. Be humble. Don't push it. Okay? Give them their space, and they will mind your space as well. Something to keep in mind. Another thing I'd like to encourage is that if you do see somebody violating that space, please call them out. The more that we call them out, the more that they learn. I don't give a fuck if they're a goddamn photographer. Stay the fuck back from our animals, please. They make cameras. I mean, even my phone camera zooms in times 100. So if you can't fucking figure out how to get a good picture from 30 yards out, that's a you problem, okay? So we are on the last quarter of the wildlife loop here. Another thing I can't stress enough is that stay on the roads that are public, okay? Don't go off those roads, please. Oh, we got another herd. Stay off those roads, all right? I don't want anybody getting in trouble. You will get in trouble if you are caught by anybody off of those roads. We all have radios, we all have phones, we all communicate, and we all got signal. So you will be found, you will be caught, you will be reported, and then you will be exiled, okay? And I don't want it to come to that for anybody. I just want people to come here, have a good time, and respect the rules. Yeah, we got a little herd. Now, I know further up here, there's usually a hangout spot for some more pronghorn. There was a herd that I saw earlier, but it was way off camera, so I wouldn't have been able to show you guys that one, unfortunately. But I'm going to try to keep my eye out, see if I can spy the usual group that's kind of hanging out up here. And try to get you guys another view of that. One thing to keep in mind as well, no matter where you come in on the park, there is a kiosk. Make sure you're stopping at that kiosk and getting your pass, because it is very bad news for you if you do not have a park pass. Okay, whether it's a 1 day, a 7 day, I don't know what other months or however other packages they offer, but typically for me, and if you're someone who can come here more than once, just get the annual pass. It's cheaper. So if you do want to come here again, then you don't have to, fight for it. It is super freaking windy today. Holy. So it looks like so far I'm not seeing the typical group that usually hangs out over here. Oh, we got something. We got something. Probably some deer, looks like, coming up. Yep, we got some deer just ahead. Just off to the right here. Right there. We are now getting toward the end of the wildlife loop. Off to the left up here. Let's see, I'll just pull you guys out. So just ahead, we have the employee camp. Okay, do not go into the employee camp. Okay, you will be forced out faster than you got there. Okay, we don't take kindly to people coming up here. But if you do come up here, that's the road that you'll be coming in on. Then just over here, if you have an RV or camper or something like that, there's a dump station, fill station, stuff like that. So, other than that, that's it. And here's your last reminder: don't ever come into our employee camp. Authorized personnel only. Okay? Alright. I enjoyed this video. Have a great day. Bye-bye.